The movie begins with Jimmy Cullen visiting a junkyard to meet an informant. There, he picks up his car, a gun, and some documents about a man named Prescott Ashton. Using this information, Cullen finds Prescott's office and kills him. The murder quickly gets the attention of two FBI agents, Humphreys and Cicero, who start investigating the series of killings. Meanwhile, Cullen continues hunting down the other people on the list he got from the informant after being paid. At the same time, a mysterious assassin, hired by an unknown person, is sent to track down and kill Cullen. At the FBI office, Detective Cicero found a videotape that revealed who Cullen really was. She told Humphreys that Cullen and his brother had once taken part in a bank robbery. The robbery began as planned, but things went wrong when they were betrayed. Another group of criminals ambushed them and tortured them, trying to make them reveal where the stolen money was hidden. When the criminals threatened to kill both brothers, Gary Cullen's older brother thought they were only bluffing and tried to stop Cullen from saying anything. But Cullen, afraid that Gary would really be killed, revealed where the money was hidden. Right after that, the gangsters Prescott, Nixon, and Kenneth Tyson slit Gary's throat and killed him. They also shot Cullen, leaving him badly injured. The doctors declared Cullen dead, but he survived after surgery, during which they implanted a metal plate in his skull to fix the gunshot wound. She believed Cullen was taking revenge for his brother's death because he had promised to kill everyone involved. While she told the story to Humphreys, Cullen went after his second target, Kenneth Tyson, and shot him just before Tyson could record a kidnapped girl. As Cullen walked out of the apartment, Killer, the man who had been following him the whole time, tried to attack him, but Cullen reacted quickly. But Cullen managed to escape, leaving Killer angry and frustrated. Meanwhile, Detective Humphreys went to his girlfriend's house, where she complained that he wasn't spending enough time with their son. She made him take the boy to a basketball game. While he was driving there, Detective Cicero called to tell him that Kenneth had just been killed and asked him to come to the crime scene right away. When Humphreys arrived, he learned that Kenneth had already filmed personal videos before and was planning to do the same with the girl in the apartment. While they investigated the scene, Cicero said that a witness had seen another gunman shooting at Cullen in the hallway, but no one knew anything more about the attacker. After failing to kill Cullen, Killer became frustrated and told his girlfriend, Lily, everything that had happened. She comforted him and said he would catch Cullen eventually. Feeling grateful and emotional, Killer proposed to her. The next day at the FBI office, Cicero noticed the scars on Humphreys' hands and asked him about his past drug use. Humphreys avoided the question and only talked about his girlfriend Maria. Not long after, Humphreys admitted that he had used drugs in the past, but said he had stopped after his son was born. Meanwhile, after killing all the people on his list, Cullen went to visit his ex-girlfriend, Nan Porterman. But when he arrived, he found out she was now married and living a new life. When Cullen asked about their unborn child, Nan told him she had gotten an abortion because he wouldn't allow her to visit him while he was in prison. Heartbroken by the news, Cullen left her house, but Nan still promised to support him and encouraged him to take revenge. Meanwhile, Killer married Lily. At their celebration party, he told her he wanted to leave his violent life behind and start fresh with her. At the same time, Cullen was getting ready to kill his next target, Nixon. When Cullen walked into the nightclub, he realized that Nixon was the man who had killed his brother. When Nixon went to the bathroom, Cullen followed him and told him he had been waiting for this moment. After sending the guards away, Nixon chose to face Cullen himself.
I said to watch the door.
The two fought, but Cullen stabbed Nixon to death and then escaped. As he left the nightclub, Cullen called Nixon's son and told him the truth about what his father had done. Meanwhile, Killer had decided to quit his job, but he still couldn't let go of the unfinished mission. Eventually, he gave in and started planning to track down Cullen. When Lily found out, she tried to stop him because she was worried about his safety, but he ignored her pleas and left anyway. The next morning, both Killer and the police got ready for their own missions. Humphreys called Cicero to report the stabbing and said he suspected Cullen was responsible. Cicero disagreed, but Humphreys told her he would check the crime scene to see if it was connected to Cullen. At the same time, both Humphreys and Cullen found out that Nixon was still alive and being treated at a nearby hospital. Cullen remembered the moment Nixon killed his brother and decided to go to the hospital to finish his revenge. Humphreys, expecting this, also went to the hospital to watch over Nixon. Soon after, Cullen arrived and shot Nixon while he was in surgery. Hearing the gunshots, Humphreys ran after him and caught up with him in the basement. But when Cullen noticed Humphrey's police badge, he stopped shooting and walked away. On his way back, Cullen got a call from Nixon's son, who asked if he was the one who killed his father. When Cullen admitted it, the boy became angry and swore to take revenge. Cullen didn't try to stop him, he just told the boy to do whatever he believed was right. While still on the call, Cullen realized that Killer was nearby and had traced his latest location. Right after that, the two got into a dramatic car chase. It ended when Cullen's car got a flat tire and Killer shot him in the neck. Cullen survived once again, which made Killer even more furious and more determined to kill him no matter what. Killer then called his informant to give an update, but the informant reminded him that the mission needed to be finished quickly. After getting away from Killer, Cullen went home and pointed a gun at his mother, demanding answers about his father. He believed his father had betrayed them after the bank robbery because he wanted a share of the money but was refused. His mother then told him the truth: his father had died before the robbery even happened. Cullen remembered that he hadn't planned to join Gary's heist at first, but when the driver backed out at the last minute, he stepped in to help. Wanting to honor his brother and support him, he agreed to take part. But in the end, he still lost the brother he loved. While looking through old family photos, Cullen recognized Maria, Gary's ex-girlfriend, and realized she was the one who had reported them, not his father. He picked up Gary's urn and decided to go after her. As he left the house, the words about right and wrong kept echoing in his mind. Meanwhile, Humphreys returned to the office and everyone praised him for almost catching Cullen at the hospital. Cicero then explained that the gang members involved in Gary's death were actually small-time criminals who had never committed any major crimes. At the same time, Cullen started going after his final target, Alexander Jared. When he found him, he discovered that Jared had become a Christian pastor, and Jared immediately recognized him. After everyone else left, Jared told Cullen that many of his past sermons had been about him, and Cullen admitted that he had listened to all of them. Jared then took him for a walk and explained that he had adopted the boy. But Cullen felt that this didn't make up for the crimes Jared had been part of. Jared admitted that he had once been in the gang but insisted he never knew about the plan to kill Gary. He said he had even tried to stop it, but in the end he couldn't save Gary. He said he had only been hired to guard the gate and didn't know who was responsible for what happened. Later he was arrested and sent to prison, but that time changed him. He left his criminal life behind and chose to help others to make up for his past. Feeling moved by his sincerity, Cullen forgave him. He couldn't bring himself to hurt Jared and told him to go back to his family. While Cullen was sitting alone at the camp, Killer suddenly showed up, ready to kill him. At the same time, Detective Humphreys also arrived. He called Cicero and told her he would go after them himself. She nervously told him to wait for backup, but Humphreys refused because he was afraid the two men would kill each other before he could step in. Inside, Killer saw his own name on the list and realized that Cullen had already taken his revenge on everyone else. But there was still one last name: the person who had hired Killer to murder Cullen, someone Cullen didn't know about. As Cullen and Killer faced each other, a police officer appeared and aimed a gun at Killer. Feeling threatened, Killer dropped his weapon. Right after that, Humphrey suddenly shot Cullen and revealed that he was the final person involved in Gary's death. Cullen couldn't see him clearly, but Killer, who who had never met him in person before, recognized Humphreys as the one who had hired him to shoot Cullen. Humphreys then said he had suspected the truth ever since the incident at the hospital, when he chose to let Cullen escape. He told Humphreys that Gary's girlfriend was the person who had informed him about the bank robbery. Humphreys tried to pay him, but he refused the money, saying he didn't deserve it because he hadn't finished the job. Before leaving, he asked Humphreys not to contact him again. After that, he called Lily and told her he could finally come home now that everything was over. Meanwhile, Detective Cicero was on her way to help Humphreys when she discovered that he had known about Cullen from the very beginning of the case. She called her superior to ask why he had been assigned, but he told her that Humphreys had actually volunteered, not been sent. Soon after, once his name was cleared, Humphreys called Maria and told her he wanted to start over with her. While Humphreys was talking to her, Cullen suddenly appeared and shot him in the head. Cullen then revealed that he had survived because of the metal plate in his skull. Moments later, the FBI arrived and found Humphreys' body. Cicero decided to hide her involvement in the case. Cullen took Gary's ashes to the sea, scattered them into the water, and drove away, while Jared began a sermon about forgiveness.